James stepped into the lavish penthouse, the city lights flickering through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He had been looking forward to this moment for weeks, a quiet getaway with Olivia, the woman he loved. But as he set his bag down, something felt off. The air was too still, the atmosphere charged with an eerie tension, a rustle behind him. Before he could react, pain exploded at the back of his head, and everything went black. He woke to the metallic scent of blood and the sting of cold steel around his wrists. His head throbbed as he tried to move, realizing he was bound to a chair in a dimly lit room. Olivia stood before him, flanked by two men he didn't recognize. Her expression was unreadable, but the glint in her eyes sent a chill down his spine. "Sorry, James," she murmured, her voice devoid of emotion. "It was never real." Betrayal cut deeper than any blade. He had given her everything, trust, love, his secrets, and she had sold him out. Rage replaced confusion. He clenched his fists, breathing steadily, forcing his mind to sharpen. Years of military training kicked in. He had been in worse situations. He could get out of this. The two men moved closer, one cracking his knuckles, the other pulling out. A knife. Olivia turned away, uninterested. It was a mistake. James exploded into action. A swift kick sent one of the men staggering backward. He twisted his wrists, dislocating a thumb to slip free from the cuffs. Pain burned through him, but he ignored it. Within seconds, he had the knife-wielding man in a chokehold, the blade now in his own hands. The other man lunged, but James was faster. A sharp strike to the throat sent him collapsing, gasping for air. Olivia turned, eyes wide with shock. But it was too late. James closed the distance, grabbing her by the wrist, twisting it until she dropped her gun. He pressed the knife against her throat. "Why?" A smirk played on her lips even now. "Because you were easy." James felt a storm rage inside him, but he forced himself to let go. Killing her would be too easy. He had bigger plans. He needed to know who was behind this. Who else had betrayed him? As he slipped into the shadows, vanishing, into the city's underbelly, one thought pulsed through his mind. This wasn't over. Olivia's breathing became ragged. "Please, James, I was desperate." I tilted my head, watching her squirm, waiting for the excuses I no longer cared about. "So was I said quietly. "And yet here we are." She swallowed hard, glancing at the confession still dangling from my fingers. "You can't—" I let out a slow chuckle. "Oh, Olivia, I already did." I dropped the paper onto the floor between us and turned for the door. I didn't need to say anything else. The truth was already written, the weight of it pressing down on her more than any sentence ever could. She would spend the rest of her life looking over her shoulder, waiting for the past to catch up with her. And me? I was done playing games. As I stepped outside, the air felt lighter, the night quieter. Olivia would live with her fear. That was enough. I walked away without looking back, disappearing into the city. I had a new life to build, and this time, no one would take it from me.